Good morning for take 2 of our start. It looks like our orientation is correct. Hopefully. Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. Hey, Paula. Hey, Nancy. Oh, take 2 looks much better. Hey, Vicki. Glad you could join us this morning. Alrighty, so a lot on the table today, don't you think, guys? Of course, my coffee cup. And yeah, I'm walking around. Sorry, guys. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, so let's see. We have our memories and more here, and I have more to show you. Here's our fancy card. We have Stampin' Blends. And yeah, this is our fine tip glue, Vicki. We have white ribbon. This is in the spring catalog, the little silver thread ribbon. And then we have our labels and more. So that you can see, that's just a magnet strip, so you guys know. And then here's our pretty fancy card. I'm going to put this to the side for a second. And I'm going to go over, and I know I've talked about the memories and more before, but I'm going to show you a little more. I'm going to move my coffee, take a swig first. Sorry, one more. I forgot to text my sister to remind her. Hopefully she remembers. Somebody tag Melinda Jane, would you? Here is the memories and more. These are the short pieces, and everything's two-sided. And here's long pieces here. And again, everything's two-sided. The memories and more is part of what was once part of the scrapbook pages with the sleeves. These actually fit in the pockets of the sleeves. But here's the cool part is that Stampin' Up! Doesn't leave everything just to the scrapbookers. They have other features in here. So who saw Joe's Valentine's card? I'm going to let the video catch up while I get answers to that question. No, Paula, it's just Melinda Jane. That's how my sister is in Facebook, but that's all right. Hopefully she'll get here. Paula saw Joe's Valentine. Who else saw Joe's Valentine? Anybody? Apparently not. Okay. Well, here is Joe's Valentine. See the window sheet on there? I can't open it up and show you the inside because I wrote in it. Morning, B. Glad you could join us. Hey, B. Tag my sister so that she remembers to come join us. Would you be? So this is Joe's Valentine. I made this card, not one single stamp. And see how cute that turned out? Joe loved it, actually. I used a memory and more on the inside. Let's see if I can get it. There's the memory and more on the inside. Thanks, B. But this is all totally from the memories and more. Not one single stamp, inside or on the outside. So you can still do a beautiful card like that, because all of this has some additional pieces to it, but that's a Memory of More piece. This is a Memory of More piece. It creates some really nice, quick cards that you can do. So this is the fancy card, and I always get teased about how my cards are always too fancy. So we're going to go the other way. We're going to take this fancy card, because I have two friends that really like pink. Well, a couple friends actually that really like pink that really need a card. So we're going to, any guesses on who this one's for, Paula? Going back to the Memories and More, there's some die cuts in here, some beautiful die cuts, and these are all stickers. So yes, Paula, you're right. Helen is totally my pink girl. Here's one more sheet of that vellum, or of the window sheet that's got some ink on it. And then, like I was telling you at the beginning, here's the big pages, and then a bunch of the small pages. And there's all different kinds of things. You could color that. That'd be a really pretty front on a card if you took your Stampin' Blends markers and just colored the flowers and the leaves. Or you could just, super simple, put a color background on that and you would be all done. Piece of ribbon, one and done. Super simple cards. So we're going to put these aside. Anybody has any questions about these, come over to the house, because the videos don't ever do these justice. Just like the paper. Seeing the paper in person is so much better than in the catalog. So, Stampin' Blends class today. Super, super excited about that. Woohoo! But, all right, so we're going to take this card. And here's the cool part, you guys. You get 2 of each paper. So in that Memories and More pack, you get 2 of those and 2 of those, because, and I've got all my little collection here. To think of you is to smile, or just a background paper. So we're using to think of you is to smile, and we're going to cut that out on the Big Shot. And because I only had 2 pages, I actually had to not cut this one yet. So we're going to take our lots of labels. This is the 3rd biggest one, and we're going to cut that out. So bear with me here so I can go. I didn't move the Big Shot over to cut this out. Using the magnetic platform so that you get it cut well. And if you get it cut in the middle, you could actually use that piece for something else, or just use that side. I didn't get it cut totally in the middle. Kitty fur. Sorry, guys. All right, so here's our verse. We're going to keep that as it is. But do you guys see? Can you guys see how those are green? So here's our tip for the day. Our coffee and cards tip. Don't be afraid to use your Stampin' Blends and color ribbon and color colored paper. So take in the paintbrush end of our Stampin' Up! Old Olive Dark, and we're going to color and make the leaves green. Just like that. And then we'll do the same with this one on the other side. So you're saying Old Olive. That can't be Old Olive. It is Old Olive, but because it's on the pink, it gets really, really dark. So I was originally, excuse my reach. Hey, Becky. I was originally going to use the Old Olive paper on the original card here, right here. But look at, there's such a color difference, which is why I went to the Always Artichoke, which is our darker green. And then it pulls that all together on the original card. So, but don't be afraid to color your paper. And you say, Jennifer, how can we color ribbon? Well, there are people that use the regular ink pad, the regular ink like this, and color the ribbon. I didn't have a pink ribbon for this, so I pulled out my marker and I made myself some pink ribbon. Now, I have to go over this because once it dries a little bit, it gets a little bit lighter. But don't be afraid. It makes a mess on the grid paper, but what are you going to do with that? Don't be afraid to try it. Any white. I actually was going to pull out some of that organza because I've seen the organza colored. Put your Stampin' Blends. We'll put the ribbon to the side because we're going to color it one more time. So, here is the original card. How are we going to make this more simple, you ask? Well, we're going to delete a couple layers. Here is our large piece from the Memories and More. And we're going to take our cardstock. We're going to delete that dark green layer, and we're just going to put that on. However, I have to do the sparkles still. The silver twine is still going to go on here, but we're only going to do it 2 times instead of 3, and we're going to just do a knot. And, whoops, almost grabbed that green. Don't want the Old Olive marker on there. We'll darken this up one more time. And I know you're wondering if you get it on your fingers, but because of how quick this dries, you don't. There we go. Colored one more time. We're going to line up that and put our colored ribbon in there. Like that. Oh, I hear fighting in the kitchen. Joe's outside, thankfully. No interruptions with coffee and cards today by Mr. Hampshire. Very distracting, that man is very distracting. Hey, Trev. So, there's our front. Look at the comparison. Not quite as busy. We're going to take our To Think of You and Smile. We're still going to put our dimensionals on there. Top and bottom. And then we're going to put this here. Punch out our all one color flower because we are trying to make this more simple. And we're going to use our pen tip and put some glue on there. Put that down there. Not quite as fancy. Remember, that's what we're doing. Making a card that's a little more simple and not so crooked. Holy cow, why didn't somebody say something? All right, there we go. So there's that. And then we're going to put this dimensionals on the back side. Always on my mind, on the back side. You guys are very quiet today. No questions, no comments. Okay, we're going to put that here. And there is our more simple version of that. But I had this extra piece of the front that I cut off. Vicki, take an extra swig for me, would you? And we're going to put this on the side just to fancy up the inside. Make sure that you get the flowers going straight. I'm glad you like that tip, Becky, because I couldn't get it to come into the to our Stampin' Blends class this weekend, so I figured I'd do it today. All right, so here is our Petal Passion Memories and More card, the fancy version for me. Actually, that's almost a little too fancy for me, almost. And then the more simple version for, we won't say her name, but we love her anyways. No, B, because the fine tip glue, it takes a second for it to dry, but you couldn't pull that off if you tried. If you're worried about that coming off, you can use in this part here, you could use little glue dots instead. So good question. Thank you for asking. All right, guys. So short and sweet, simple coffee and cards with you this morning. I'm going to take another swig. And I'm going to go get ready for Stampin' Blends class today. Got to go finish vacuuming. Got to get rid of the dust bunnies. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. See you tomorrow, Paula.